This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You are watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Okay, so as I'm sure most of you are aware by now, Derek Chisora wants Deontay Wilder next. Of course, this is following his victory over Kubrat Pulev last night at the O2 Arena. Now, how do I see that particular fight? I mean, firstly, will that kind of fight happen? Would Wilder be willing to fight Derek Chisora? Well, we know back in, 2012, I think it was, maybe 13, Derek Chisora, Deontay Wilder was already agreed. Frank Warren and Derek Chisora, they had a press conference to announce that Chisora was going to be fighting Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, he didn't turn up to the press conference and subsequently pulled out of the fight. He has some legal issues going on. It's all surrounding some manhandling, should we call it, of a woman. Some reports say it was a model, some say it was a prostitute, or however. Apparently Deontay Wilder strangled her or something. Anyway, that said, so that fight didn't happen. Now, fast forward to now, is that a fight that Deontay Wilder would entertain? I don't think Deontay Wilder will be against fighting Derek Chisora, but I think Deontay Wilder will still be against going on a Eddie Hearn platform. Because again, you've got this cross-promotional issue, haven't you? You've got Matchroom, you've got the PBC, you've got DAZN, you've got Showtime. Where both platforms are, of course, available in America. In the UK, listen, that won't really matter, because obviously Showtime and Fox, whichever one that they decide to use, isn't going to be here in the UK. But at the same time, I'm sure it's going to be a very decent, substantial offer coming through from Eddie Hearn. But due to the whole Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder situation where, listen, I maintain Wilder never, ever wanted that fight. Never wanted it. And made arguably the biggest mistake of his life not fighting Anthony Joshua for undisputed for 100 million for 2 fights. First fight being in America. And I'm sure that's probably going to end up haunting him as time goes on. But that said, one of the reasons why that fight didn't get made, and Shelly Finkel made it quite clear, that it was pretty much down to Shelly Finkel, where Shelly Finkel said that a fight between a Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua will happen when he decides that it will happen if he has a good relationship with John Skipper at the time, who was the president of DAZN, or a bigwig at DAZN, either way. But so that tells you in itself that Shelly Finkel, he was in control of Deontay Wilder's career. Shelly Finkel decides who it is that Wilder fights and who it is that he doesn't fight. Now, Wilder has said quite a few times that he will never, ever, ever work with Eddie Hearn. He'll never work with Eddie Hearn. But at the same time, obviously since then, Wilder, he took that left turn when he should have took that right turn, and he ended up fighting Tyson Fury on 3 occasions. It was a cherry pick that went wrong, let's be brutally honest about it. But ultimately, he ended up taking 2 official losses. Most people believe it should be 3, but two losses and a draw officially. So maybe now that undefeated record has gone, again, because at that time, Wilder was very adamant about his undefeated record. He wanted to go on and break the Marciano record and whatever else. Now that's not on the table, now it's not available. Maybe now he'll be more open to working with things. Maybe Eddie Hearn can offer him big money. At this stage of his career, at this stage of his life, money. That's what you're in the game for, money. And if Eddie Hearn's got to put up more money, why not? But I do feel that would be a real block. Now, if somehow they manage to get the fight over the line, whether they do it so Chisora has to fight on a Showtime platform, however, and it has to be a PBC show, and Eddie Hearn is not allowed to be involved, as we've seen before, where PBC just totally blocked Eddie Hearn, most notably the Canelo and Caleb Plant fight. But if somehow they manage to get this fight over the line, who would win? How would it go? Now, a lot of people say, well, Wilder would absolutely starch Derek Chisora. And already at this point in the video, in the comment section, we're 4 minutes in, I'm just talking about the fight now. Already there's going to be plenty of people already with that comment. I'm sure there is. But here's how I see it. Deontay Wilder beats people who stay on the outside. Because Wilder, very, very rangy guy, long legs, so he can close the distance very, very quick. He's very, very fast. And it's not that Wilder is strong and he's powerful. He's not. He's fast. Speed kills. So he cuts that ring real quick and lands that big bomb. But Derek Chisora, is a guy who doesn't go on the outside. He doesn't like being on the outside. He likes to get up close and personal. That's the place. Wilder doesn't like it. Derek Chisora there up close, cracking away at those ribs. I can see Derek Chisora stopping Deontay Wilder. I can. But unfortunately for Chisora, at points in the fight, and especially the longer the fight goes on, Chisora finds comfort with his back against the ropes, evading shots, trying to evade shots, and he'll eat a few as well. That's the place where I can honestly see Derek Chisora getting stopped by Wilder, because Wilder will just take a step back and just launch into him. So the best way for Chisora to win is early. That's honestly how I see it. Don't give Wilder a moment to breathe. And that's ultimately what will be the plan for Derek Chisora, I'm sure of it. But you do have to make Wilder the favourite in that fight. But again, I mean, how mentally strong is Deontay Wilder now? Has he recovered from those 2 losses to Tyson Fury? How is he mentally, physically? I'm sure physically he's fine. He's taken a bit of time off. I'm sure any aches and pains have all been okay now. He's probably broken his hand several times or whatever else, like he always does. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see. I'm okay with this fight. I am okay with this fight. I know some people say, but this is potential suicide for Derek Chisora. I think you're overrating Wilder a little bit too much. But hey, listen, at the end of the day, if this is the fight that Derek Chisora wants, why not? Why not? But anyway, that seems to be what's going on. Eddie Hearn wants to make that fight. Will that fight happen? I would say not. At this stage, not. Based on recent history with Eddie Hearn, Shelley Finkel, the PBC, and Deontay Wilder, I would presume not. Unless, of course, Chisora is willing to fight Deontay Wilder without Eddie Hearn's involvement. But Derek Chisora, he's a free agent. He's not signed up to Matchroom or anything like that, so he can go fight on any network that he chooses. But again, he is managed by 258 Management. Anthony Joshua, is that going to cause any kind of issues with Wilder? Wilder is a very, very emotional person. Takes things very, very personally rather than looks at it from a business perspective. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see. Are we going to see Derek Chisora versus Deontay Wilder? And again, if this fight does happen, you can pretty much presume that it's going to be in America. Wilder is not going to travel to the UK. Wilder doesn't travel to the UK. I know so many of his fan base at the time, the Wildettes, the small section of his fans, would always say how Anthony Joshua, he doesn't travel, he's a British champion. That's what he is, he fights in the UK. Knowing full well that their guy doesn't fight outside the United States of America. I mean, he has come to the UK once before when he fought Audley Harrison, but why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you? Against the tougher guys? No, I don't think that Wilder's interested in going to the UK. It's United States of America only. Time will tell though, right? Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.